Israel has reportedly launched its major offensive on Gaza City. The Israeli army saying ground troops are advancing into Gaza's biggest urban area. Heavy bombing hit Gaza City overnight, and residents still there were warned they must leave and head south, though thousands are still in the dense urban area. Now, posting on social media, the Israeli Defense Minister, Israel Katz, declared Gaza is burning. This all coming one day after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited Jerusalem, reaffirming America's support for Israel. Well, let's talk more about this now with our Jerusalem correspondent, Noga Tarnopolsky. Noga, first of all, what more can you tell us about this ground offensive?
Well, Jeannie, what I can tell you, the latest I have is that the Hamas health authorities in Gaza say that 59 people have been killed and almost 400 wounded in the last 24 hours. I expect these numbers still to rise. And we know from the Israeli army that this major part of the Gaza City offensive was started with 2 ground divisions. We know from eyewitnesses in Gaza that Israeli tanks were already rolling through the city late last night at around midnight. And as you said, that the city found itself in a ring of fire, is what we heard. Now, I do want to go back to Marco Rubio's visit here. He stood next to Prime Minister Netanyahu and basically made it very clear that there is no daylight between the United States and Israel when it comes to the Gaza offensive. I don't think it's coincidental that Israel waited for him barely to have taken off towards Qatar, given his imprimatur, and then launched this expanded offensive.
Now, Noga, all of this comes as a team of independent experts from the UN's Human Rights Council made a very dramatic announcement saying Israel's committing genocide in Gaza. I mean, tell us more about that report and what kind of reaction there's been from Israeli officials.
Well, this is a report that actually an investigation that began in 2021. I think many people think it's directly related to this war, but it's gone on much longer than that. I don't know what to say. There have been numerous reports now that Israel is committing genocide, including from an association of genocide experts. I'm not sure that this latest UN report is going to have that much independent impact. I think that Israel has basically lost the PR war when it comes to arguing whether or not it's a genocide in Gaza. I can tell you that the Israeli Foreign Ministry responded really with rage and something close to disgust. I want to read to you the statement. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said that the 3 individuals who have since resigned, who served on this UN committee, are Hamas proxies notorious for their openly anti-Semitic positions and whose horrific statements about Jews have been condemned worldwide. Israel goes on to say, in stark contrast to the lies in the report, Hamas is the party that attempted a genocide in Israel, murdering 1,200 people on October 7th, 2023. So it's a blank rejection. There's no kind of discussion. What the report does say specifically is that they believe Israel has committed 4 out of the 5 categories necessary for an act of war to be defined as an act of genocide. I suppose that Israel's evacuation of Gaza City right now, when clearly there are not enough places anywhere in the south of Gaza for that population to go, I think this will not help Israel make its case. I want to add one last detail that has stayed with me from a military briefing yesterday. We were informed by a spokesman working on the humanitarian part of the Israel Defense Forces actions in Gaza that 20,000 new tents and trampolines had been brought in. When you think about a city of 1 million people, 20,000 tents, even family-sized tents, it just doesn't begin to cover it. When we asked this of the spokesman, he said, well, there are second-hand tents, there's a big market in tents, but the reality is that there's simply nowhere for these people to go right now, and this may complicate Israel's diplomatic isolation even further.
Noga, thank you for that. Noga Tarnopolsky reporting for us live from Jerusalem.